This is our news, the weekend edition, and on the broadcast tonight, the Chamber of Commerce weighs in on a multi-million-dollar marina development set for Paradise Island. Plus, a woman is charged with killing her baby. And the Labour Minister gives an update on the Labour on the Blocks initiative.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Knowles, and thanks for joining us. Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employees Confederation Chairman Edison Sumner says a $250 million investment at the Hurricane Hole Marina on Paradise Island is a great sign for the country. Our Jared Higgs tells us more.
Chamber of Commerce Chairman Edison Sumner says the hundreds of jobs anticipated by the redevelopment of the Hurricane Hole Marina will bode well for the country's economy. The $250 million plans were unveiled by Sterling Global Financial's Bahamas subsidiary earlier this week.
It's quite a significant development. 13 acres is a lot to develop. Paradise Island is already a very developed island, but to find this gem here, to be able to develop it is great. The fact that they're looking to employ up to 600 or 700 people during the construction phase and another 500 on the permanent basis is a fantastic thing for the economy. It also presents some opportunities for businesses to come in who want to rent spaces and get other businesses done through the amenities that are being offered by this development.
Intense scrutiny has been placed on the developers responsible for a planned $5.5 billion oil refinery project in East Grand Bahama after several admitted missteps were made by the government prior to the signing of a heads of agreement. Without commenting on the legitimacy of Oban Energies, Sumner says he is comforted by Sterling Global Financial's strong ties to the Bahamas.
Well, we know him. We know some of his senior executives. Sterling is a member of the Chamber of Commerce, so we have confidence in what they're doing. And yes, we believe that he is a bona fide investor in the country. And it is good to see investors who are actually putting back into the country and who are engaging Bahamians in the process of getting it done. So we're encouraged by that, and we support this investment entirely.
Former Minister of State for Investments, Kalis Roll, currently heads up Sterling Global Advisors. He echoed Sumner's sentiments, noting that the company's chairman, David Kasoy, is a Canadian who moved to the Bahamas years ago.
All of the principals that are involved in this venture are either permanent residents who have been in the Bahamas for many, many years. The investment group are made up of Bahamians as well as some foreigners. But, you know, we are very excited about what this is going to do for Paradise Island and the Bahamas in general.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jared Higgs.
All right, thanks, Jared. Well, non-communicable diseases are now the leading causes of death and disabilities for women in almost all countries of the world. That according to Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, who delivered the keynote address at the 3rd Annual Gynecological Oncology Symposium at the Warwick Hotel on Paradise Island this morning. Dr. Minnis, who is a gynecologist, told his peers that nearly 80% of NCDs occur in low-income and middle-income countries, with cancer now chief among the non-communicable diseases. He says it is a growing crisis.
Building on the momentum created by the political declaration and subsequent resolutions by the World Health Assembly, a new global framework for NCDs has emerged. That is, the Global Monitoring Framework on NCDs, which includes 9 ambitious targets measured against 27 indicators, and the Global NCD Action Plan 2013 to 2020, which provides the roadmap for achieving this goal.
But the Prime Minister says the greatest challenge in the war against cancer, especially the gynecological cancers, is making healthcare services more affordable and accessible.
Much thought and planning must be invested in our health programs. It's about partnership between developed countries, developing countries, the private sector, civil society, and affected communities.
The Department of Labor has helped Bahamians secure more than 1,100 jobs thanks to its Labor on the Blocks program. That's according to Labor Minister Dion Folks, who says the program is proving to be an effective tool for getting people off the unemployment line.
So far, between Grand Bahama and New Providence, we are now over 1,100 persons who have been gainfully employed. And these are permanent jobs. These are not temporary jobs as a result of our Labor on the Blocks initiative.
Labor on the Blocks was launched earlier this year. Its aim is to utilize community parks to register job seekers in the Department of Labor's database. Folk says those seeking employment in New Providence have one more chance to participate before the program takes an extended break for the summer.
The next Labor on the Blocks will be at Doris Johnson High School, Prince Charles Drive, on the 14th of this month. That's a Saturday, and they're for the 7 constituencies in the East. This will be our last Labor on the Blocks until after the summer is over. We may do one in Abaco, and we may also do one in Eleuthera. That has not been decided yet. But I'd like to encourage all job seekers to please come on out on the 14th of this month to Doris Johnson High School.
Folk says at least 20 companies are expected to take part in that event. Well, from the courts, a 40-year-old woman with a history of mental illness was charged with manslaughter in the death of her 1-year-old daughter yesterday. Prosecutors allege that Philippa Arnett Marshall of Kemp Road unlawfully caused the death of Felicia Marshall back on Valentine's Day. It is alleged that the woman doused her child with gasoline and set her afire at her Faith Gardens home after hearing voices on December 28, 2017. The infant remained in hospital until her death on February 14th. Now, the woman was not required to enter a plea to the charge when she appeared before Magistrate Samuel McKinney. Her lawyer, Bajan Ferguson, told the court that a remand at the Bahamas Department of Corrections would undo the treatment that she was receiving from psychiatrist Dr. Kirk Christie. Ferguson said the accused had just been released from Sandilands Rehabilitation Center on Thursday after an 11-week stay. He said she surrendered to police on Friday and was charged with the offense. However, prosecutor Inspector Philip Davis objected to the grant of bail due to the serious nature of the charge. He also said that he had information that Arnett Marshall was not complying with her treatment protocol and that as an adult, her prospective sureties would be unable to force her to take her medication. In light of her special circumstances, Magistrate McKinney set bail at $15,000 with 2 sureties. However, that decision has been suspended as the prosecutor gave notice of his intent to appeal. Arnett Marshall remains in custody until the bail decision is reviewed. We'll take our first break here, but still to come on our news, a call for more transparency surrounding the Oban deal. And an advocacy group pushes for more support. Those stories and more when our news returns.